viewers, welcome to this episode of Women Rise. My name is Madreen and good afternoon to you all. It is October, already in October, and we are almost completing the year. Yes, I greet you all and hope you are well. Now join me welcome our guest today. We are really honored to have her with us, and we don't take this opportunity for granted. We really appreciate her making time for this show, and of course for you, the viewer who keeps watching Women Rise. Yes, you are welcome. And today we have Miss Gladys Ananura. She is a counseling psychologist. She works with one of the big universities in Uganda, and she's passionate about the youth and adolescents. Gladys, you are welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I am glad to have been hosted by you and to have considered to look out for me for such a show.
Now, Women Rise is a platform where we get to host different women. They come up and share their stories, their work experiences, basically with an aim of helping that young girl out there to not to give up, to be encouraged, and of course be able to listen into these stories and learn something from the experiences of the people who have been there, people who have done something in society. Yes, Gladys, once again, introduce yourself to our viewers. Who is Gladys, and where do you come from?
I am Gladys Ananura, a counseling psychologist, like they have just mentioned it. Meaning to be a counseling psychologist, according to the professional standards, you have to have a master's.
Oh,
Yes, that's what qualifies one to
be okay.
a psychologist, a counseling psychologist.
Okay.
Yes. Meaning I have a master's in counseling psychology,
Wow.
certified by the Uganda Counseling Association as a member. It's a body that certifies and oversees the counselors' activities in this country.
Wow.
Professionally, it didn't start from where I am. It started from somewhere where you want to do a certain course in the university, but because the government has given you another course, you go for that one. After you've done the one for the government, you're like, my passion is here.
You try to find your passion.
My passion is here.
Okay.
So starting, I began it from Bachelor of Tourism. Then my passion was working with people. Of course, with tourism, there is a part
people are
of
there.
People.
Yes.
But the animals bit, no, it wasn't me. Considering the fact that I am physically disabled, it wasn't the right thing to go for.
Yes.
But it was the given thing to go for. So at the end of it, I ended up talking to people about my passion. I learned on someone, and he just tells me, you come, I'll show you where to go for counseling. So my first counseling short course, I did it at Makerere Medical School with the doctors. They used to give them a short course of 6 months. So that's why I started it after 6 months. Then I went for my master's in counseling psychology.
Wow.
And I'm gladly serving as a counselor, helping people out there.
Wow. Wow. So brilliant. And I have to mention, we have hosted Gladys on one of our shows, of course, you know, to mainly issues of mental health. There, yes, topics such like that. So Gladys, we want to know more about yourself, you know, growing up. Which kind of child were you when you're growing up?
As a bright child, I was not born disabled. I became lame at the age of 3. I can tell what happened. It was polio. So after that, going to school was not easy for me, considering the distances from home to school. I had to wait and then join a boarding school. Then I joined a boarding school, but the one thing I had was a supportive family. My father, being an educationist, he looked forward to make sure
that you
I studied.
get the education.
And then the one thing that became a song at home was everybody else will pick a hoe, go dig, do a physical thing to earn. But for you, it will be your brains. So work hard.
You had to work hard.
Yes,
Yeah.
I knew anything to earn for me was not going to be physical, but my brains.
Your brain.
And then values, family values also uphold people, and personal values. So growing up, having a grandfather that was a canon in the church, that one mentally prepared me. Telling me that, you know, at one point you're going to ask people to do for you things. They will not be
They will
there.
not be there.
But you must know that much as you've lost one leg, because when you fall sick and it cannot function anymore, that's what makes disability. If one part of your body is not functioning well, you must know how to survive on your own. Then as I grew up, my siblings kept saying, oh, we will marry here wives, you will not know how they treat you.
Yeah.
So make sure you're able to do things on your own. So that prepared me mentally to know that disability is not inability.
True.
To know that I have to make sure I stand on my own in life, though things were not going to be that easy.
Of course,
but I had to be prepared mentally. And so going to school, I went to school, a normal school like for every other person. I think I was the only physically disabled person, but we had students who are blind. So we'd always compare notes.
Yeah, true.
Sometimes we'd tease ourselves about our disabilities, of would it be good for you to lose your eyesight but have your limbs move? And then other people would be like, no, Gladys, for you can see,
somehow.
but somewhere you will not be able to jump a place. That school was in Nyamtanga area, so they would say, you will not jump that river. So we can, for us, when we are guided, we can jump. So we grew up teasing each other about our disabilities, which made us comfortable with whatever we were going through. So I went into that. I studied, finished primary, finished well, joined secondary, and I had one chance of being friendly. So everywhere I went, I had friends who would help me. If I need water, someone would be willing to pick it out for me, take it to the bathroom. So those days, disability inclusiveness was not yet a song like today.
Like today.
You heard me talk about the ramp, what that is disability assessment.
Yes.
Making sure inclusivity is part of everything. Then I come to work, even at a university, for my master, for my, first of all, for my degree.
First degree.
It was in Makerere. It is a hilly place.
True.
So inclusivity was not a thing. I put down my crutches because now my chest was hurting. I could not go up the stairs. Yes, they made sure I stay on the ground floor in my hall of residence, but then the lectures were...
Some of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
But with time, lecturers adjusted, the timetable adjusted to what I could fit into. I went through that. Then when I went for my master's, I changed the university. And I had people discussing in a class where one of my siblings was also studying, but didn't tell them that she was my sister. So they were there discussing, hey, this guy is doing a master's. How did the parents encourage her to get to this level? At the time we were growing up, people knew that someone who is disabled, the best job they could do was to just sit on the street and mend shoes for men. Those days I'd see so many men in Barara mending shoes on the streets, and that's
when you're sitting somewhere.
And that's all would think about. You're studying to be what? So it was a challenge that, there are many other people who would want to be sensitized that, you can go through life no matter what happened to you. Even in primary, bringing these blind students. I remember the school used to send incentives to parents to allow the children to come to school, because to them, they felt like it was a mockery. How can a blind student study? Blind child study? You're mocking me. So the school used to send some incentives like soap, a blanket every end of term, so the parents would look forward to send back the students, because they've come back with something, a gift to the parents. So being a Catholic school, the nuns used to mobilize that and make sure they take a kilo of sugar, to make the parents desire to take back the pupils. Yes, so it was never something to take for granted.
True.
Most disabled people didn't have a good attitude to go to school because parents were not sensitized, and they didn't seem to see a future for such children. Then I come to work and start to look for jobs. And
it is also a problem.
You are the ones who are going to study and even become PhD holders without jobs.
I know.
Why did you do this? Because you can't manage anything. I even went to visit one of the members of parliament in charge of the elderly and the disabled. And the person told me, all I can do for you is take you to some place and you learn things to do with beads. So you make necklaces. And I'm like, with my degree, I deserve better.
You deserve better.
I walk out of that. I kept going. Then I get jobs in shops, first a restaurant, because now with a background of tourism, hotelier was one thing that we had covered. But you see, people will still keep taking you for granted. They will give you the least pay they can, because
they feel
they
they're
think,
helping you.
Yes, they're helping you, and they feel you're needy. So you can take anything. Then you are not going to demand for so much. But the one thing that people missed is knowing that once you employ a disabled person, they are not going to be loitering around, like doing extra jobs, extra, because they don't have the opportunity to do that because of mobility. If I am seated in this university, I will not start trading myself through universities. Now I am here for this lecture, there, now I go and lecture this place, I lecture in this other university. That multitasking is not possible. So They are one royal people that will sit in one place and do
their
things
work
with all their heart, because that is all they have. While another person is looking for
better opportunities here
you can
and
look
there.
for greater opportunities, but hawking from one place to another to make more money is not something that you will find. Yes. So that is what it was growing up. But the self-esteem bit is very important.
Very important.
Once somebody's self-esteem is not prepared from childhood, it's not easy to prepare it when they are old.
True. And someone will want to know, besides self-esteem and also family support, what has made you, beat the odds of the norm or the saying that we have in society, you cannot do anything because you have a disability. What has made you, so strong to be where you are at this moment?
Being a very determined person. That for me, whatever seems to be a mountain, I look at it as a stepping stone. I challenge myself. I will hear what people have to say, then say, how can I challenge this saying? So that takes me back to the values that you were given as a child. Yes, knowing that there is an inner strength within you that is greater than what people can see. And if you tap in that inner strength, then you have the ability to move.
And then, Gladys, you mentioned you had family support. And there is somehow inclusion these days. Yes, but we still have parents, still so reluctant to take these children to school. Some are just, just leaving them there and not focusing on their education. What would you say to such parents who have this kind of children, special needs children?
Yeah, very true. Because even at the university, the ones that we receive, you find like a parent just dumps them there. A government has given you a scholarship, and so not even the students' needs are met. They will just bring them. This year we had such a scenario, dropped there, nothing to use. So it's about this child to say, I will achieve whatever I want. I want to achieve in any way that I can. Because they need to know that these people didn't choose to be where they are. And disabilities are in different forms. We even have people who are epileptic. They are disabled in a way. So they did not choose to be where they are. And because they belong to your family, if you do not give them something that will sustain them, they will become a burden to you as family, as a society around you. So equipping them is a better solution than keeping them there and making them dependent. At least skill them. If you can't afford taking them to school, skill them. Give them skills that they can use to earn something. There are many things that can be taught to them. There is, like 2 years ago, my university was skilling disabled students. They teamed up with an organization, and they were taught on how to make liquid soap. They were taught on how to make bar soap. They were taught on making tomato sauce, and then branding. So they did these things, paper bags, books. Then they taught them to brand them. And you'd see students very excited on their group saying, this is my brand. It is being sold in this supermarket. Because what we're looking at is, yes, they will finish university. Maybe they will not be lucky to get jobs immediately. But as they look around for professional jobs, what skills have you given them?
Very important.
for them to be able to sustain themselves. So parents need to know these are normal children like others, but with the challenge. Some have even learning disabilities. They are not able to keep things in their mind, or even writing problems. We have students who have writing problems. Their handwriting can't be read because of something that happened in their brain originally. But identify those skills they are good at
and promote them.
And promote them. There is one who is one person I know that is deaf and dumb, meaning they can't talk, they can't hear, but they are very good in making furniture.
Wow. Oh.
Yes, they do very good furniture. And all the father did was to start for them a workshop, take them for training, and that's what they are earning from. Because they do it with their concentration. They don't have noise around them. Once they set out to do something, they can't hear you. They will not talk to you. All the energy is
on the product they are working on.
Product they are working on.
Beautiful. I hope parents, we are picking something from this. And Gladys, so to your career, you're a counsellor. Take us through this journey. How is the experience so far as a counsellor?
Yeah, the experience is great. I keep interrupting with many people. And this particular year, because of what I've gone through with my health, I asked to be moved. First of all, when I got employed, my office is on the second floor of the building. No ramp, there was no other way but to take the stairs. But I challenged myself to take them.
So you take them. Is it still the case up to now?
No. Because as you age, disability ages with you. Complications continue to come. If you get an accident, it will not. The recovery will not be easy, like for the person who has been okay for all their time in life. So I keep this time after that, I asked to be moved to Disability Support Center. So that's where students find me. And it has given me an opportunity to also deal with these students with their psychological well-being. Self-esteem, like I started, is very important. Even to the person who is not disabled.
True.
Once you don't believe in yourself, the world will never believe in you. Once you do not brand yourself for who you want to be, then people will not give you a name. It's you to give yourself a name. And it all starts from here. We say that thoughts affect the way you feel and affects the way the person behaves. If I am not emotionally stable, if my thoughts are not good, then I will not be emotionally stable and it will reflect in my behavior. So we see theft becoming theft everywhere on the roads. For us who are in Kampala, even on border, they will take your small phone, your bag will be taken. And the excuse is that people don't have what to do. There are no jobs. So they've decided to earn it easy through theft. And so, people are anxious. The youth are anxious about the future. They will look out for whatever they can do to have money in their pocket. So they take risks easily. Gambling is becoming part of that day. It started with sports gambling. Now it is going everywhere.
Everywhere.
Give them tuition, it is done in gambling.
And you start panicking.
They are anxious about the future. They do not know after school, after this, what next.
The environment these days is also not friendly. Yes, no jobs, so...
Yes, so that anxiety needs to be handled. And the way I handle anxiety, I asked you, what are you worried about? Is it within your locus of control? Do you have control over it? People are here saying, you are taxes. But if you look into your locus of control, you have control over it. We can't have control over the weather, much as we can complain, oh, my hair, now it is raining, but you can't control it. So you go back to the locus of control and know that if something is happening and I cannot have control over it, then I have to let the worry go, divert my mind to something that is workable.
True. True, I get it. Which is really not easy, Gladys.
Yeah, because if you have not sat in my shoes, or if you have not sat in the school of thought that I've sat in, you will not look at it as like that. But if you go and start practicing on your locus of control, you might find people are worried about other people's problems and needs.
Very true, because sometimes you worry about things a lot. You find someone, you're lost in thoughts, you're moving, but you don't even know what
generalized
is next
anxiety. You don't even know what is making you anxious. But it is generalized. Everything now to you is disturbing. Your parents are not relating well, and it is causing you anxiety. That's what I see. Then you're like, so when this marriage was starting, were you there? No. Then what is making, what solution do you have to it? Nothing.
And you have no solution.
Can you let it go? Then you find youth being expected to be the ones they are looked at as you are now the solution to the family. Since maybe you're the first one to come out, to go study, the expectation of the parent from a child is also high.
Too much,
And it causes them anxiety. Go back to secondary schools, primary. Performance has become performance. Schools are competing, and parents are also in the competition of you must perform very well. So when you finish and you don't have a job, the next thing they hear, you've put a rope on your neck.
True. And a lot of cases.
Yes.
Suicide.
Or drug addiction. To cope with whatever they are feeling within them. They just go into drugs.
Gladys, these are many issues. You talk of suicide, drug addiction. How do young people find out the challenges or the issues, and how do they deal with them to avoid such issues like suicide and drug addiction?
First of all, if somebody is suicidal, you address the suicide as you deal with what is causing it. Because at the point they are suicidal, they have fallen into a depression. Meaning they cannot control their emotions. Their emotions now are in the negative side. Always crying, feeling like there is no tomorrow, no desire to get out and work. The activities they used to love, they no longer want to do them.
You don't want to talk to people,
You
engage
don't
with
want to go
others.
out for sports. You don't want to see anything. Life has become meaningless. So with that, we have a psychiatric support. They give you medication to balance your hormones. To know when you're supposed to be happy, when it is time to be sad, you don't stay in one side of being sad. Then as the psychologists come on board to do the emotional support through counseling, so that both of them help each other, so that the person gets back to the normal mood and stops the medication and is able to move on with life.
Wow.
And also we have to know that it's a process. And for example, if you want your tree, if you've planted a mango tree and you want it to give you the best fruits, you must water it, you must cover it, you must make sure the soil is the best soil you've planted in. So up there, the fruits, if we go back to psychology, they are the results of what is happening to the roots. What kind of thoughts are this person feeding on? What do they hear that feeds them? That is the fruit they are going to bring out. So it is just the tip of an iceberg for me to start telling you, I am feeling depressed, I feel like killing myself. It is just a tip of an iceberg that I should now dig down to say, why is this person doing what they are doing? Even with addiction, we say behavior makes sense, but to some people, behavior it doesn't make sense. You're just being stubborn. But parents need to know that behavior makes sense. By the time you see your child behave a certain way, make sense out of that behavior, and ask yourself, why do they behave the way they are behaving? If you get to that question, then you will find solutions to this behavior. Otherwise, you will fight addiction and fight all these other things, but when they are not the root cause. It's just like washing and then spreading in the mud.
True. And you work more with, students at university. What do you think are the most pressing issues among the young people and adolescents?
There are many. Relationships have become a challenge. There is something they've put in their minds, like if you leave the university without a relationship, then
you won't have one.
You won't get married. But I keep telling students, this was then, in those many years, before some of us even went to the university, where the educated men were less. Educated women, actually.
Yes.
Because girls would never be promoted to go into that level of education up to university. So the few that came to the university never wanted to go back and marry the non-educated men.
Yes.
So they hooked themselves to these boys whom they had studied
yes.
with. For them to form an elite family, educated family, but not to go back and find I am marrying a driver, I am marrying someone who is just digging around the villages to earn, yet I am from the university. That's where it started from. And these days people are losing it. They will carry themselves into a marriage. It is not, it starts as a relationship, and relationships have stages. We become friends, then we cope, then we become fiancés, then we get married. Now they always jump from friends to marriage.
To marriage. That's where the problem is.
That's where the problem is.
True.
You're exposing yourself to this person. They now know, I have a wife. I don't even need to go do a traditional thing. She's already here. There is nothing I am missing. I have everything a married man should have. So they will not go to introduce you. You're already there. Then they find your weaknesses. I can't cope up with this one. Then they go to look for another one. This is what we call weekend wifing that is coming up in the universities. Every weekend, people are going for weekend wifing. Sometimes I laugh. I'm like, what is that?
Weekend
wifing. Then what happens after weekend? I am a student. After weekend, I'm a student.
And then the next
On
weekend
Friday,
you go back
I am a
and
wife.
find.
But the man is changing every weekend. You're weekend wifing somebody else. So that has increased the risk factor of contracting HIV/AIDS.
True.
And these students tell you, we are not scared of contracting HIV. We are only scared of getting pregnant. That's a new statement. And with that, now these other medications that have come of preventing people from getting pregnant, they do not know with time there is pain.
Negative effects, yes.
I always tell them, whatever you do as a youth, know that you will pay later in the future. So later on, you will now start seeing people who are failing to give birth because they took a lot of it. I actually say, if you cannot control, then you get on proper contraceptives.
True.
Than preventing every time you want to have sex, you first go take that medicine, and then you prevent yourself from getting pregnant. But in future, when you want a child,
the effects are there in the long run.
In the long run.
Yes.
Then infections are becoming infections. Because of all that, going with everybody that you see, not minding about your cleanliness and about feeding, it is worse now. People, you give them greens? Greens? No. So there are many things that are coming up that will cause parents to worry in future. If they don't, I would want to advise parents, you are always the first teacher to your children. Before you release them to school, begin with them. If you look at the young children, they will always tell you, Mommy said, Daddy said, teacher said. Those three people. When they start school, they come with homework. You say, this is how we do this. They tell you, but teacher said.
Yes.
So if you do not give them values and teach them from childhood, the world has become global.
True.
So it will train them. They go on the internet, learn things that the wrong way, and believe it is the right way.
Very important. And this is the mental health or cancer awareness month. Yes. I know you're a counselor, a psychologist. There are issues also that come up with, mental health challenges because of the cancer, patients or relatives around. Any information about this?
Yeah. I will start from one story of a student who walked to me and was just screaming, I think I have cancer because my blood level is low.
Oh. How did she know her blood level is low?
They went to the hospital
Okay.
and found their blood level was low. And then they had a small tumor growing on the leg. And the first suspicion was, I have cancer. Why am I studying? And that, when I went into history, I discovered the mother had passed away of cancer.
Oh.
So
I see the fears
the diagnosis does not affect the person who is sick, but also
people
the family
around.
members.
True, true.
This mother had passed away many years ago, but anything that happened to the children, they would be suspicious of it is now cancer.
Kept tormenting them.
Yes. So it's important to keep checking. Another student walked to me and they were saying, my parents think I am lazy, I'm not walking, I'm not doing enough exercises, my legs are always swelling. And immediately I said, you know what, this is not a counseling issue. Can I talk to your parents? And I asked them to take her
For checkup.
And they discovered there was cancer.
Oh.
But she studied throughout chemotherapy and finished because of the psychological support. What I would go there and do was to go ask her, what are your fears? Before even we started chemotherapy, I did a preparation. What are your fears? I am scared I may never give birth because the cancer is affecting the fallopian tubes. What is your other worry? Oh, I'm going to lose my hair. Okay. Then you take them off. These are cells. They grow. They can regrow after treatment. So you will have your hair back. Then my nails are going to be dark. My skin is going to be dark. All those things. But most times we over or undermine the psychological being of a patient.
Very
Healing
true.
comes from medication, psychological being, and eating well. So if you do,
they should go hand in hand.
hand in hand. If you do two things and
leave-
fail to address the psychological
Yeah, true.
part of it, then it can't help.
Which I think many of us ignore.
Yes.
Yes.
We had someone in our in our environment working for us, and then she developed breast cancer. And then she said, me as a young girl, cutting off my breast, how will people see me? How do I start walking around with one breast? So she chose to do treatment, but no cutting. And it didn't take time. That person passed away.
Oh.
Because it was not complete. So the diagnosis brings fear. Someone starts having sleepless nights, running stomach, because they have been told that they have cancer, and to them it is like a death sentence. So to you as a caretaker, as a child in the home, as a relative that has come, you do not have to become an alarmist and add on their fears, but to always keep instilling hope and finding out where do they find difficulty, and trying to ease or give solutions to where their difficulties are. If you come out as an alarmist and you also say, oh, you're dead, stage 4, stage this, you're dead.
Yeah.
Then, even when they're dying, they need to die in peace. You don't have to be the alarmist. You start setting off everything. One person was told, they went to India, they were told, you have these few months to live. They came and sold off all their property and ate their money. They said, worked for these things, let me enjoy my money. Up to today, the person is alive. But they lost their things.
You lost your things, and I know God can do wonders.
It all starts here.
With the mind.
What you fear comes to you. What you believe is what you also receive. So it's very important to address the psychological being of any patient, even if they are not cancer patients. Yes.
What are the chances or opportunities for someone who is psychologically ill to get better or to come back to their normal life?
Who is psychologically ill?
Or mentally broken?
It's not easy. That's why I would suggest that people blend counseling into even with physical illnesses. Because once somebody breaks down mentally, if they become depressed, if they become anxious, of now I am dying, I am living out this, they will, like the way I told you about that man who sold off everything. So apart from selling off things, what else can they do? They might even harm you who is around them because they are frustrated. So they give up on life so quickly that even if you administer medication, haven't you had those people who tell you, do not take me to the hospital?
True.
It is done. Just let me to die. Why are you even bothering? It is here. So someone whose psychological mind is not right, who is experiencing depression and stress, insomnia, not sleeping well, then they will, even if you give them how much medicine and food, healing is not a guarantee because they have already given up on life. But somebody who wants to fight on, whose mind tells them that, you know, this is just a season, we will go through. They will struggle through and carry through and go through it.
Okay. And you work with young people. How is your experience, working with these young people? As a person, what are the, opportunities or the good things that you enjoy most about working with the young people?
They will always let you know what is happening out there. Like these stories of weekend wifing, where would I find them? They always let you know what is happening out there. They always let you know where families are breaking. Because we are all products of family. So if my family is not well, you will see it through me. So they inform me of what is happening out there. I am always informed of new things, new vocabulary.
I know.
Of what is happening.
Yeah.
So you don't find yourself getting shocked of what is happening because they always let you know their vocabulary, what their experiences, what they're going through. And when they trust you, they will always come to tell you stories. Then they come to tell you stories, but you as a person who knows what is supposed to be done, you also bring your story in trying to correct what they are thinking. So they're enjoyable people to work with.
Wow. Okay. And so as a woman, as a woman in particular, what are some of the challenges that you face as a counselor? And of course, you work at university. Yes. What are some of the issues you think that are directed to you or the young girls that you work with?
Like I said, that the youth are daring. So because of that daring bit, you find girls putting themselves at risk. Because like from where we started, people are lacking. They will do anything to get money. So you find girls are devaluing themselves in a way because they want to have something. They want to have an iPhone. They want to drive a good car. They want all these good things, but they don't see means of how they will get them. So they will give themselves out to just earn something that can qualify them to get to the status they want. So you find they are getting at risk. There, because we're having many more single mothers, if you could imagine.
Yeah, true.
And what they're going through is not easy. Raising a child without a father is never an easy space. Although we keep thinking, I have my money so I can handle. It's until you sit in that seat and see that it is not about
easy.
having the money. And so this is something that we should look into. What is happening in the parentage that is causing these people to think of, these girls to think of being single mothers? They are only looking for sperm donors, but not wanting commitment. What could have worried them from the first relationships they saw? I dealt with a girl who was a lesbian, and all she said was that growing up, she saw people fighting at home. So she got scared of the real relationship and said, I don't want to be like those women.
Oh, you can imagine.
I would have less fights with my fellow girl. And I also feel very good when I'm fought for, because in the relationship, she was a man. Yeah. But she came back to the reality of it and said, I want to get out of this. Yes, so there are very many reasons why people do what they do. Going back to behavior makes sense.
True. And you're a counselor. You said you're a professional counselor, meaning you do this, do you do some part of commercial counseling, or it is only at university with the students?
No, I see people outside the university. I team up with my colleagues, other counselors, and use an office space outside the university. As long as I get somebody contacting me, then I look out for an open office space where I meet such people. So yeah, I don't only deal with students alone, because you can't touch a youth and you think you will change their environment without changing their families as well. There are some cases where you need parents on board. So sometimes I also see parents separately,
and
the people booking differently. I mostly handle cases to do with grief. Yes. Still with relationships. So they look out for me, and I give them the service at a fee.
Wow. All right. And how do you do this? How are you able to juggle through, you work at university and then this also comes in? Share with us some of the work ethics that you use, you follow, something that you follow as a counselor, and of course some of the qualities of a good counselor.
Okay. We have our core values. Those core values it's confidentiality. You can see that all the cases I put in this recording, I have not mentioned names. I have not mentioned specifications that will let you know this is the person they are talking about. So confidentiality is very key. People will only trust you if you can keep their secrets.
Yes.
Respect. Being non-judgmental. You have to respect people the way they come. You have to bring them on board without judging them. You don't hear me say, how did you become a lesbian? It was your choice. That's judgmental.
Yes.
Just bring them on board and understand. Where did they start from to be where they are now? What could have gone wrong somewhere? Yes. So the key things are respect, being non-judgmental, and and being confidential to any counselor.
Okay, some people, should we say that before you become a counselor, okay, what I want to mean is that, some people wake up and, you believe in yourself, you say, I'm a counselor. Do we specifically need to go through the training that you received to, masters and all that to become a professional counselor? Or I myself can, say, I think I'm good at this, I can be a counselor.
Before I joined for my master's, it's my family that first identified the gifting within me. Because whenever they would ask things and I get in and say, can we do this, do this, do this, it would come out. So they prepared me to add papers, become professional. It's important to become professional. Yes, there are many people, pastors, your aunties, your uncles, but we are now getting out of the nuclear, we are getting more into the nuclear family. Those days, if you did anything wrong, they'd take you to your singer to talk to you, take you to your uncle to talk to you. But these days, families are living alone.
True.
So nobody is going to discover that your son, your daughter has a problem because they are within their environment. So it's important to get into professionalism because much as they would take you to your singer, you would not say everything you want to say because it is going to be taken up back to the other people. But in the profession, we have what we call, you don't counsel your own people. Dual relationship is not allowed. Even if I am, you're my client,
True.
and I become interested in you to start a relationship, it is not allowed.
Not allowed.
Until after the counseling relationship is out of the way. But dual relationship corrupts the way you will listen. You will start judging what someone is going to say.
Yes.
And you will not be genuine. So that's where professionalism is needed. People are scared of, whom do I tell this? Oh, maybe I go and tell my pastor about this. But the next thing they're like, supposing they put me at the pulpit. Yes, they are gifted with counsel, but they do not have the professionalism to protect people.
The client.
So I would have sat there and said, oh, because I am gifted at this, I will sit here and do whatever I am doing. But adding professionalism brought out something unique into the profession. And then it also starts with you. As you sit in that counseling space, class, when they are teaching you, you work on yourself. Because we can't pour from an empty cup.
Yes, yes.
When you're not professional, you do much more of advising. And when you keep advising people, you make them hooked to you. They'll come and tell you, my dear, last time what you told me worked. So today, what do I do?
And if it does not work?
If it does not work, you're to blame.
True.
So, if you're not professional, you will keep advising people and you will make them hooked to you. That's why you see people coming. Hey, Pastor, last time you said this. Now what is God saying? Because you've not taught them to listen to God direct themselves. So, in the professionalism, you teach people to get their resources. Find out their resources within them that will help them solve the problem they have. Because everybody has a solution to their problem.
True.
They only get, the answers become hazy because their mind is blocked. But the moment they talk to somebody, the mind opens up to, I think I can do this. I think I can do this. I didn't know I have this solution within me.
Wow. Wow, it has been beautiful and amazing to have Gladys with us today. And I mean, with counseling, issues keep, coming up and coming up. It is beautiful if we continue, having Gladys here, and we might not end, but I'll want to ask Gladys one of the final questions. Yes, is with your experience in the counseling career, what do you think has been one of the most, the good moments, or you can measure the impact that, you have achieved in the time, in the, number of years that you have been a counselor in your life?
Yeah, the great feedback from my clients. If I help someone and they come back with feedback of how they are doing, that's my joy. It does not matter how much I earn, but how much impact I have made.
True.
Seeing somebody change, like that lady that I'm telling you, coming back and putting on the status and showing me, counselor, see, I am back to being a lady.
Wow.
I have grown my hair. I am stylish now in how I dress. I am no longer going to the gym to make muscles. It makes me happy.
Wow. I see the passion, you what you mentioned in the beginning, you loved to work with people. Wow.
So,
it comes back.
Yeah. It pays back like that.
Wow. Beautiful. And Gladys, as we get to the end, what are your last remarks to our viewers, of course your clients, people who might want to reach out to you for these services? Yes, how do they find you?
I have a contact. I have an email. My Facebook page is no longer active because of those things of putting away.
Oh, yes.
What?
If it's which one?
When they put away, when they blocked the Facebook in Uganda, and they told us if you access through the other way, they will reprimand you. So I had a Facebook page. I could get people off that way, but they can always email me at ananuragladys@gmail.com. They can always contact me at 0706 347634. I work under Care Counseling Center.
Okay.
Yes. So they can always personally get to me.
And people, might be there asking, who needs a counselor?
Yeah. Yes, because even sometimes students are given a coursework and they are sent to the unit and they're like, why did I have to be told to come? I am looking for an issue to share and I don't have any to share.
Yes.
But even we say counseling should lead to informed decision making. So you may be wanting to make a decision, but you are not informed about that decision, about its advantages, its disadvantages. You don't want to do it under your emotions and you're wondering. So it's guidance and then counseling. So it has two parts. We even have what we call preventive counseling. Before you fall in the ditch, let's prevent you from getting there.
Okay.
Yes. So there is much more to counseling than sitting to discuss your issues. You may want information about something. Yes. Which we call psychoeducation. Yeah, sometimes we organize things to go in the communities and do psychoeducation about cancer, do psychoeducation about drug addictions. We are educating the society to prevent the youth from getting there before they get there.
Yeah, true. Wow. Thank you so much, Gladys, for coming through, and to you, our viewers, thank you so much for always watching us. Now, if you need, counseling services, decision making, anything, please, you can reach out to Gladys. She will help you out, make informed decisions, and also very many things. She has shared her contact. It will run to below the screen, and her email is ananuragladys@gmail.com. She works with Care Counseling Center. You can also check out their website and see more what they do, and of course try to engage with Gladys. Thank you so much to the team that is behind the cameras. I've been your host, Madreen. See you next week. Bye.